and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's Agents of Non-Pro TV Party Hangout. Woo!
Woo!
There's no enthusiasm in this
Least
room.
excited opening ever.
We really
a
got
long history of not excited openings. Welcome everybody to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. talk.
We're not, guys, come on, we're not an NPR show. We don't need to be quiet. It's cool.
Oh, if we were an
I'm
NPR
excited.
show, all right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do the opening as an NPR show. Welcome to another episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I am your commentator. I probably would have screwed that up if I. Hey guys, welcome to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Hangout Show.
Yep. This
Second
week
to last episode we'll be doing.
Yes.
Or ever.
Yeah. No, not forever. Not forever.
We don't know yet.
No, we did. We just found out. They just announced the other day that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is picked up for a second season, and they have also commissioned a Agent Peggy Carter TV show based on the character from the Captain America, the First Avenger. So we will not only have one show next year to talk about, but two.
But
I was suggesting that we would not be good enough to stay on the air that long.
Oh, I won't even entertain that idea.
Didn't you hear Agent Garrett? He said, "Don't trust anyone, especially him," and that was true.
Yes. What does that have to do with anything?
That they could
You
be
came
lying
in
to
late.
us?
We are not discussing what you think we are.
I know
But,
you're not
yes,
discussing. You know, you are discussing what I think we are.
Yeah, we'll find out in the future whether or not we have the staying power to put up with this for another season. But the experiment is halfway over. I mean, no, not halfway. Damn it. Almost over. This is our penultimate episode, and we are going to be talking about Ragtag, right? That's the name of this episode.
Yes.
Yes. In this week's episode, Ragtag, the team investigates the origin of Project Deathlock, while we get a closer look into Ward's past.
Sounds mysterious.
Absolutely.
It was a good episode. I don't know general thoughts. I'm going to say I really enjoyed the episode. I had a good time. I had a couple of problems with it, but generally, overall, I had a really good time.
I really enjoyed it as well. Obviously, they're setting things up for the finale, so it wasn't as in-your-face reveal after reveal as the past few episodes are. It kind of slowed things down, but I enjoyed looking into Ward's backstory, and I thought the whole entire finding things about Deathlock was pretty neat and has some interesting implications and future possible plot. So I really liked it too.
It was cool.
You've been drinking, haven't you?
Not yet.
Oh, good. So that's the problem. You haven't been drinking yet.
I'm too sober for this show.
All right, Kathy, keep going.
But yeah, it was a cool episode. Lots of cool stuff. They're still keeping with the action, but they still have the tongue-cheek comic style comedy in it. I mean, I like the shape the show has taken, and I like that it keeps it up.
I didn't like this episode as much as the last few. The last few were a lot more interesting, maybe more powerful. I don't know. It wasn't a bad episode at all, though. It was pretty good, and there were certain things about it that really stood out. A couple scenes with Fitz, yes, with Fitz and with Grant. And can I just say, I goddamn love Bill Paxton. Bill Paxton is the best.
Yes.
He's just, I love him. I love the hell out of him. I also saw Aliens today, and it made me love him even more.
All right, so
then I saw Independence Day, and I got confused because that's an old joke. I'm sorry.
All right,
James.
So let's talk about the episode. Let's talk a little bit about Ward. We can sum up, I think, Ward's past in this episode pretty quickly, which I think is really interesting. So what do we think about Grant rescuing Ward from prison and then training him to be this thing?
We knew that Grant had done something amazing for Ward at some point. Garrett did something amazing for Ward at some point. But I mean, like, it could have been anything, and you would have had to, like, to justify the future murders. It has to be a pretty damn amazing thing you do. I think saving him from prison was meh, but the fact that Ward was in prison for pretty much probably trying to kill his brother.
Well,
That was pretty damn extreme.
that's shaky. I don't think he would have. I think it was mostly a, adolescent rage, gonna go burn down my house sort of thing.
Of all the people in this hangout to defend someone who set fire to a family member's home, it would have to be you. It literally could not have been anyone else in this group. Hold on. Sometimes arsons get out of control. So it was at least it would have been a felony murder.
Yeah.
If his brother ended up dying in the arson.
I would definitely say it's more than just adolescent rage. He stole a car. He snuck off from military school, stole a car, and drove over 1,000 miles home just to burn the house down. That's a bit more than just I'm doing the growing up thing. This is something really deeply disturbing in Ward's mind.
I think what drives me nuts about this is I really wish I knew a little bit more about it. So from what we know about Ward is we have the whole, I get the idea that his brother's a really bad person because his older brother kind of made him throw his younger brother into that well. We have a little bit of backstory on that. And then Garrett kind of gives us the impression that his parents were not by any means great people either, particularly because they were kind of letting this happen. I don't know, I feel like Garrett insinuates that the parents kind of knew and let this go, so there was a reason why Grant not only didn't like his brother, but a lot of the rest of his family as well. But I feel like, I don't know, I could have really used a little bit more there. Like, what about his younger brother he threw into the well? Is he just a victim in this situation, or this, that, and the other thing?
I disagree, James.
Okay.
I think I definitely eventually will need that if I'm going to have any more thoughts or feelings about this character. But as of now, there's a lot of, there's enough suggestion that there's stuff there. It's possible that Garrett was lying about his Ward's family leaving him in prison or trying him as an adult. It's possible that that one incident of abuse, the well incident, was just supposed to be representative of a lot more. A lot of possibilities there, but I think it's simple enough where we can fill in the blank and say, all right, Ward had a very bad home life. He was put in a position where he put his trust in a sociopath, and most importantly, I mean, why do we have to leave this off? He does have this goodness in him still, sort of. It's very questionable goodness, but letting the dog go, arguably letting Fitz and Simmons go, heavily let them go into the ocean. But he probably could have tried a little harder to fish them out and kill them. And even all the things he does for Garrett to keep him alive. All of those things are the signs of a person who
cares.
Who cares, yeah.
Actually, it's funny that you mentioned the whole entire thing with the dog, because I'm really actually glad you brought that up, because there's this huge controversy now about what happens with the dog. It's a new did May sleep with Ward. Half of the viewers think that Garrett shot the dog. The other half think Ward shot the dog. I'm personally of the belief that it was actually Ward that shot the dog. Me and James were actually talking about it before show, and we both were scrambling to find the scene again. And from what I understand, the people that said Garrett shot the dog, their main argument is that Garrett takes the rifle with him to the car and then shoots the dog when he sees that Ward couldn't kill him. But from what I saw on a rewatch, Garrett doesn't have the Garrett doesn't have the rifle with him. It's still by Ward. And combine that with the juxtaposition of the bullet, the rifle firing with Ward pulling the lever to eject Fitz and Simmons. I mean, I feel, at least pretty personally, that it's implying that Ward shot Buddy. Not the fact that he can't personally up close kill people that he cares about. He has to snipe Buddy just the way he couldn't look at Fitz and Simmons when he lets them go.
I am.
James,
Go for it, James.
Okay,
James.
I'm of the exact opposite opinion. So I think the foreshadowing.
I believe Buddy killed Ward.
It's actually an infiltrator.
I'm of the exact opposite opinion. So the whole reason why Ward so avidly has to do this, has to follow this order to eject Fitzsimmons, the whole idea is that he couldn't kill Buddy, that you know, that Garrett had to do that for him, that he failed Garrett. He showed this weakness, and this time he couldn't do that, so he ejected them from the ship. That was the symbolism in the cutting between the two scenes, as I see it. But it could totally work Matt's way too, and that's what's so awesome about it.
All right, I have my own theories.
All right.
I have two theories about the dog. Okay, so first off, obviously he shoots a gun in the air to make the dog run away. Now, firstly, Garrett could be holding the gun and watching him run away with the scope, being like, "There, I'm making sure you got away," or he could be waiting, like giving him a fighting chance, and then shooting him while he runs away. So there's that. Either way, I don't think he did that because he really wasn't leading the dog with the scope. He was just watching. When you trying to shoot a moving target, you don't aim at it, you aim in front of it. So clearly he wasn't actually stalking the dog.
This is getting really, really weird because people are just like, there's so much information. Not even information. There's so much speculation going on. I think it's simple. I think the scenes shows that Ward still has some sort of, like, people he likes he can't hurt. And I think the question is, who knows that about him? Who was looking through the scope at Buddy running away, the dog running away? And I think that could be S.H.I.E.L.D., which means there's some really elaborate double cross coming up, which is kind of stupid. Or it could be Garrett, and Garrett's just aware that his prize agent isn't as
a big old softy.
He's a soft touch, as Garrett puts it.
So, yeah, but it definitely is supposed to link up to him choosing to drown his friends rather than just shoot them.
He might just, assume they'd survive in the box he ejected from the plane.
Yeah, no, it really is. I mean, given the situation he's had, it's the best for them thing he could do.
I mean, it's the only way he could, it's the only way he could set them free. If he
But he could also have just not tried to kill them. I mean, he is also a jackass.
He couldn't have just not tried to kill them because, A, they wouldn't have believed that, and B, they'd still be on the plane. They'd still be stuck on the plane.
That is not true. I'm going to say Fitz is well willing to believe that Ward could just not kill them. Fitz wanted so desperately in this episode to believe that Ward is a good person, and I love that in this episode, the fact that Fitz can't come to grasps with it.
Touching and also kind of sad and pathetic that Fitz is so wanting to believe. Even like Sky and Simmons, people that he really listens to all the time, are trying to tell him, like, no, Fitz, no, and yet he still doesn't get the picture.
I love that. It was my favorite part of this damn episode. That is really the geekiest thing in the world. I'm sorry, but Fitz has this apparently unrelenting, not love, but like hope. He's so hopeful. He believes he's going to get the girl, or he wants to get the girl. That's still like a geeky objective. He and it's before we've seen it before with Fitz, with the kid who can make the snowstorms thing.
Right.
He wants to believe in we geeks are better than the others, and he wants to believe that Ward is his friend and there's a good thing inside him. And I would absolutely love it if we prove or see that Fitz is right, because there's too many people have just like crap on him, like, you fool, you baby, you little infant. How do you not see this, that Ward is evil, and just wake up to reality? And I feel like that's a very jaded, terrible way of looking at reality, and I don't want to see that, especially in my comic books or TV shows based on comic books.
Well,
Go ahead.
Well, Fitz is a dreamer. Fitz doesn't look at reality the way other people do, and that's what allows him to literally bend the rules with the machines he makes and the way he manipulates things. I think it's integral to his character that he just does not accept the rules that reality places for him.
I'm going to slightly disagree with what Frank says. I do want to see Fitz be right once, but I don't want him to be right with Ward completely, because I really love Ward's turn,
Yeah.
and I think any kind of he some kind of like heroic sacrifice or showing like so oh no he's actually a good person deep down inside. I think that kind of takes away from the whole entire reveal that he was actually a Hydra agent. I mean, I like Ward as a bad guy. I kind of want him to be a bad guy. And I don't know. Maybe I like the jadedness, but
I think
Al actually had a similar comment in our HQ. He's not here on our hangout, but he also felt like that if this episode was a sign of them attempting to redeem Ward so soon after revealing he was a villain, that it would be unsatisfactory. And I believe there is a way of doing it that's very unsatisfactory, but I also believe there's a way of doing it where you've actually made a character that isn't a caricature, just some stupid, like, I'm a villain for being a villain. I'm going to twirl my mustache and be evil. Or even just saying he's a sociopath. He's a villain because he's messed up in the head. I'd like to see a little bit more about why he's messed up in the head. Not necessarily see it. I just want it to. I want there to be. I wouldn't mind him saving people again, because he did. He has saved people's lives often, and I don't mind him continuously like riding that edge. Fine, you can't wash away all his sins, and they shouldn't try by just letting him die on the cross, being like a martyr character. But at the same time, you can make it where you look at this character and feel bad for him. Punisher is a good example of that character. You got to read a lot of back issues to get that story. But it's a person who's like genuinely bad, but you kind of get it.
I really enjoyed the complex character they've made in Ward, and I know some people complain about kind of the acting on the show or this, that, and the other thing, but I love the looks Ward gives when he does bad things, because they're these weird looks of kind of like, I've done good, I've followed my orders, oh my god, what have I done? It's the look you've got on Ward's face when he ejects Fitzsimmons it's amazing. It's just like, there I go, ejecting my friends from the space. Like, it's really cool. I really think they created an interesting, complex character. And that's cool. Like, Garrett's neat as a villain, but, like, now he kind of just feels like he's always been a bad guy doing, like, evil things, which is cool.
I disagree with James yet again in this episode. 2 times.
Oh, gosh.
This episode makes Garrett look so cool. I mean,
right,
I'm not saying that it justifies anything he's done. Again, you could like a character and like a villain without justifying it. Mm-hmm. So, he's a soldier in Sarajevo. He gets shot and abandoned. So he pulls himself together and he goes to save himself and decides from now on all that matters is survival, which is cool because it's a way of looking at Hydra that's a little different than the whole, Hail Hydra mission statement. It's the survive no matter what. And I like that. I like that because it's kind of a real problem. Not robotic death soldiers, but like us abandoning soldiers in many ways. I mean, it's currently in the news. You can talk about all the stuff happening and what people have to do once they've gone there and they've come back and they get their ticker tape parade. What do we do afterwards? Yeah. And again, no justification, but I like it and I understand why he does the things he does. Plus Bill Paxton.
Yeah, really, that's the end all.
Strong point.
There are other cool things in there's other cool things in this episode
and don't have to deal with Ward and Garrett.
Yeah, including everybody's favorite buddy cop team.
Sky and May.
Yeah.
Is that the new buddy cop team? Because I think it could be.
Well, no. Colson and May, yeah.
Oh, I said Sky and May.
Sky and May.
Oh, well, no.
They had their little Zen moment. That was cool. With
I was talking about Colson and May role-playing.
Simmons.
My absolute favorite part of the whole entire interview segment was Coulson actually slipping into a bit of an accent, like while trying to repeat what Fitz was telling him. I thought I'm hoping that was an ad lib by Clark Gray because that was
brilliant
little detail.
It was so funny. I'm gonna have to say I laughed so hard when you'll be receiving a large file transfer or incoming file transfer.
Such a nerd joke.
I couldn't hold it together.
And speaking of awesome nerd things, let's talk about Trip's Howling Commando gear.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because that was awesome. And I love the little moment he and Coulson have when they start talking about like the hypno beam, and they just look at each other and there's like we're like soulmates. It was a moment.
In this show that caters to nerds, there are nerds like within the show. Is it too meta that there are nerds within the nerd show?
Well, Coulson's always been
looking at a mirror when you see this happen, when you see Trip and Coulson geeking out over the stuff that they got from the museum heist or from his grandmother's collection. Do you guys like look around and see all the anime toys in your rooms and go, I don't know what to think about this?
Well, like Coulson's always been a nerd. I mean, remember he had the Captain America cards?
Yes, I remember. Ruined by blood.
I mean, I'm sure the collective value of those cards was the plane. That's why Fury gave him the plane, because he had to pay him back, like dollar for dollar.
There we go. Plane mystery solved.
There we go.
No Patton Oswalt in this episode. Still holding out.
Still
totally LMD. He'll be back.
Life model decoy. Any other super favorite parts anybody had? Super favorite parts, not just favorite parts. Super favorite.
Well, I mean, super favorite. I think we're finally figuring out what Sky's deal is. Well, starting to get a bit more detail. Finding about that there were monsters that killed everybody in that village that she was found in, but the monsters were her parents, and there's lots of a connection apparently between Reyna and Sky. And there's lots of rumors going on about what this means. A lot of people are thinking like Inhumans, and something about Terriganian mists or something about.
Yeah, they were mentioning that like they came from within the earth or something was mentioned offhand.
Mole people. Sky looks like a mole person.
Actually.
He looks a little derpy, like.
Yeah.
Early season. I didn't like the flowers connection, but I feel like the writing, the lines weren't that well, and I don't know, whatever. I didn't hate it. I just didn't like it that much. I mean, I have the winner for best part of the show.
What's that?
If it wasn't for, I love Fitz's defense of Ward, but the winner is in the flashback sequence when Garrett tells Ward, "Well, go ahead and tell me, son. I'm not a mind reader."
Yes.
Well, you son of a bitch. That's a good thing. Clairvoyant is. Yeah.
So I have a question for all of you. Is Bill Paxton Garrett? We only got to really hear one line after he got the blue stuff injected into him. Is he going to be a little unhinged now, or do we think he might actually have received some sort of powers from this thing?
Can I go a little meta in my answer?
Sure.
Garrett is played by Bill Paxton. Mm-hmm. I doubt that they're going to get Bill Paxton for a full season commitment next year. And there's one episode left of this season. And they just injected him with cosmic blue stuff. I think we got our big bad for the final episode. Mm-hmm. And I think he's probably going to have some sort of supernatural powers. I do not believe we're going to see a permanent change in him that will be reflective as a new villain in the series, necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Though, if he goes, what do we have left?
Hydra. Everyone in Hydra. Everyone who was released from the fridge. Possibly Ward. I would not be satisfied with him being a one-season thing.
Quint's probably going to get the gravitonium. What do you call it? Garrett promised him the gravitonium, so there's always that. I mean, there's a lot of things floating out in the ether.
There's a lot of balls in the air, but my concern is that we're going to end up like with a situation we had at the beginning of the season, where we just felt like all these unconnected loose ends flying everywhere and no cohesive plot.
Well, we can't predict too much of the second season. And anyways, what's your answer to James's question of what do you think will happen with Garrett?
What do I think will happen with Garrett?
Mm-hmm.
I hope they kill him. I hope.
into his
I hope it comes down to a situation where literally Garrett's holding a gun to Sky and Garrett kills him.
I mean, Ward?
Ward is holding. Ward
How
kills
is it
him.
that this is so hard for us to keep?
Because these aren't their names. His name is Bill Paxton.
All right. Matt, what do you think?
I do believe that he's probably Garrett's probably going to get killed next season. I'm also going to go a bit meta, and seeing the previews for the next episode, Garrett definitely goes a bit crazy. Whether or not that means like he's justified with having superpowers, I don't know yet. But yeah, he's definitely something's up with him. I do think he's going to die. I hope he doesn't, and if he does die, I really hope it isn't Ward that kills him, because I think that's kind of trying to shove too much of a let's redeem Ward, unless they play it out really carefully and really well, which it's possible. They could have Ward killing Garrett, make him redeem him a bit, but still make him to be on the edge still. It's possible. It's tough, but I'd rather keep it safe and just have, I'd rather Coulson take him out.
We want the writers to be clairvoyant and determine which scenario will be most beloved by fans. Somebody should have ended the show a couple minutes ago.
And don't forget Deathlock.
Thanks.
What's going to happen to him?
Oh, yeah, that guy. Did anyone ever read Deathlock when they were younger?
No.
Nope. I didn't read a lot of it. And
No, it didn't appeal
so
to me.
I'm okay with everything they're doing with Deathlock.
Also, apparently there's a lot more now. If the end of the episode was anything. So that's good.
All right, yeah. So I am excited for the finale. I think we're gonna have to have a nice big talk next episode. I'm really excited.
Yes. And then we're gonna have to pick what show we want to do next.
Yeah. So if
Party
everyone
hangout.
has, yes, absolutely. If everyone has any suggestions for us to do for our next TV party hangout, we got a whole summer until Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. comes back. So we're going to try to experiment some more. So please, in the comments, leave some suggestions, some ideas, and we'll check them out.
I think Community was a good suggestion.
Yeah.
I think that show's got a couple more years left to it, clearly.
Oh.
I would always be happy with Firefly.
Oh, Firefly, yeah, that's a good one. Very quick one too. Or we could do something light like Game of Thrones. You know, light and airy and fun.
All right. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Tune in next week for the non-pro TV party finale. That's what I was going for.
Non-pro TV party finale.
So powerful. Yeah. Goodbye.
Just play the music.